I'm about to kill you, right?
You were recording.
So,
Oh my god!
So you might be wondering, what is post-impressionism? Well, it was when a variety of artists and styles emerged after impressionism in the late 19th century. It was a diverse style that was an emphasis on intense, sometimes arbitrary colors, expressive forms, and painterly brushstrokes. Symbolic and highly personal meanings were particularly important. Artists looked to their memories and emotions in order to connect with the viewer on a deeper level. Structure, order, and the optical effects of color dominated the aesthetic vision of various styles. On one side was a structured or geometric style that was the precursor to Cubism, while on the other side it was the expressive or non geometric art that led to abstract expressionism. Now you might be wondering, who exactly was Van Gogh? Well, his full name was Vincent van Gogh, and he was a Dutch painter commonly associated with the post-impressionist period. As one of the most prolific and experimental artists of his time, Van Gogh was a spontaneous painter and a master of color and perspective. Troubled by personal demons all his life, many historians speculate that Van Gogh suffered from a bipolar disorder, which he commonly used to turn his pain into something beautiful. Van Gogh's mental instability provided the frenzied source for the emotional rendering of his surroundings and imbued each image with a deeper psychological reflection of and resonance. He used an impulsive gestural application of paint and symbolic colors to express subjective emotions.
There's a lot of context surrounding this work of art, both for the actual work as well as the artist. First, The Starry Night was an expression of the artist's not-so-stable state of mind, and it later became iconic because of its unique expression in modern landscape painting, which was rare at the time. Van Gogh had the subject in mind for many months before he painted the piece, The Starry Night, with the first example being the full night sky in Starry Night over Rhone. Following the dramatic end to his short-lived collaboration with the painter Paul Gauguin in Arles in 1888, and the infamous breakdown where he casually, removed part of his own ear, Van Gogh was hospitalized at the St. Paul de Massol, and since the room did not look out upon the mountains, but rather had a view of the asylum's garden, it is assumed that Van Gogh composed The Starry Night using elements of previously completed works, still stored in his studio, as well as aspects from imagination and memory.
So, the form of Starry Night, right? This bad boy was made using oil on canvas. It utilized, short and thick brushstrokes that, with the curving and swirling lines on the hills, mountains, and skies. There was also the contrasting blues and yellows, was a deliberate stylization inspired in part by medieval woodcuts with their thick boy outlines and simplified forms. Overall, there were simplified forms, thick impasto, and boldly contrasting colors that made the work so compelling.
Van Gogh mentioned it briefly in his letters that the Starry Night was a simple study of the night, or night effect. He also hoped it would inspire and encourage others to do night effects better than he did.
Within the painting, there are large blazing cypress trees, a traditional symbol of death and eternal life, in front of a blue night sky splattered with yellow stars. This image was a landscape view from the artist's hospital room, remember, after he slit his ear, in Saint-Remy. Mountains can also be seen in the distance, where the actual steepness is exaggerated in painting. Additionally, there is a Dutch church and a crescent moon. The wave-like movements pour from left to right and are shattered only by the verticality of cypress and church steeples. This artwork is similar in content to Travelers Among Mountains and Streams by Van Koon. This is because both show natural outdoor scenery, as well both pieces are stylized depictions of nature. Admittedly, Starry Night is more drastic in comparison. Another connection would be The Oxbow by Thomas Cole, where it depicts another landscape. The creep not only depicts the land both near and far, but makes a point to have him looking at the viewer from the bushes. floors. This is kind of unrelated to the project, but I'm extremely tired right now when I'm recording this. But you know what? Leslie's in her presentation, so like, be nice to her. Additionally, I don't know, call my sister short or something.
So you might be wondering.
Alrighty, time to start with the form of Starry Night. It was made using oil on canvas. Alrighty, so the form of this bad boy was made using oil on canvas, right? It utilized short and thick boy brush strokes with curving, swirling lines on the hills, mountains, and sky. There was also the constraining...